תמלא, ציון תמלא, ייבנה המקדש, ייבנה המקדש.
Hi friends. When the yeshiva reached out to me, Yeshiva Sha'alvim reached out to me to make one of these videos, I'll be honest, I said no. The reason why was really twofold. A is I am incredibly awkward, believe it or not, when I am recording myself. Certainly with video, staring at my own self is not my favorite thing, and making these videos usually requires 10-15 minutes just to kind of unwind and unpack the awkwardness of recording a video alone in a room. And secondly, they asked me to share a Torah about Sukkos, and I'll be real, I struggle with Sukkos Torah a great deal. My issue with Sukkos Torah is as follows. I find that Torah about Sukkos divides into two categories. You have, on the one hand, like the Sukkos Torah that you hear like every year, that the beauty of Sukkos is that you can do mundane things in the Sukkah and be Mekadesh the Chomer, you play chess in the Sukkah, you eat in the Sukkah, and that elevates it and makes it holy, which is a beautiful idea, but I've heard it so many times that it's almost become like rote, like my brain takes over for the thought itself. And the second kind of Torah that you hear on Sukkot is like the overly Kabbalistic Torah, where they start quoting Nisach HaMayim and Ushpizin, and like, I'm lost. I'm just like, I have to take out my Spheres chart, like which we're in Malchus Shebahod. I'm already lost, and I've always struggled to find the sweet spot of Sukkot Torah in between something that like I've just heard too many times that it goes on rote and autopilot on my mind, and the second kind of Torah, that is so overly Kabbalistic that it's just like way, 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 way over my head. And I think in many ways that's kind of like the struggle on Sukkot, to find that sweet spot, that comfort zone, to make this Yontif, which is so welcoming and so joyful, to find that joyful Torah. But there is one Torah that I come back to every single year that resonates with me a great deal. And I think about it every single year on Sukkot, and it's a Torah from the Maharal in Netzach Yisrael, in the 35th Perek of Netzach Yisrael, where the Maharal points out something really, really extraordinary. The Maharal writes that there's something unique about the Sukkah. As Sukkos Dovid Hanofeles, the way that we talk about Malchus, the way we talk about the kingdom, we literally talk and describe Malchus Beis Dovid as a Sukkah. And why do we do that? The Maharal explains that there's something unique about the Sukkah as opposed to your home. If you were to go outside of your home, whether it's in Boca, Chicago, California, the Five Towns, or Teaneck, Bergenfield, New Jersey, if you were to go outside of your home, wherever you may live in America or the world, and take a massive excavator and knock down your house, and have all of that rubble, and from that rubble you build a nice big Gazunta McMansion, whatever you're building out there, and you build an amazing home, that new home is called a new house. What you have over there isn't your old house, reconstructed. You built a new house for yourself. When somebody goes by and goes to an old plot and they knocked it down and really built something extravagant, beautiful, whatever it is, nobody says, wow, that old house looks very new. They say, oh, it's a new house. That's in direct contrast to the Sukkah. The Maharal writes that what makes the Sukkah so unique is that in your garage, where you keep your sukkah boards, and all the dust and all the laminated posters are kind of crumpled in and smudged in between all the boards, and you have your schach over there covered in cobwebs. If somebody walks into your garage and says, what is that? What do you have over there? You would say, that's my sukkah. What makes Sukkot so amazing is that even when it's deconstructed, even when it's taken apart, it is still called a sukkah. And this is really an amazing lesson in resilience, in that our identity and who we are as Jews, who we are as individuals, who we are as Ovdei Hashem, even when you take us apart, even when things go wrong, which so much of the Yomim Noraim experience feels like you're deconstructing that whole sukkah. You're taking all the boards apart through Elul and Rosh Hashanah and Yomim Noraim, and you're looking at all the blemishes and the cobwebs and everything that's built up in that proverbial garage of our emotional and spiritual lives. Even when you take things apart, it's still called a sukkah. So when you rebuild it, you don't say, hey, I got a new sukkah this year. We don't say that every year. You say, I built my sukkah. Because the shame of a sukkah, because it is made to be built and rebuilt, the name sukkah even goes on those boards in your garage. When something is designed with the resilience, with the capacity to be recreated over and over again, that resilience of its shame, of its name, of what it's called, stays with it throughout. And I think that's a lesson about resilience, and I think that's a lesson about Jewish identity. That no matter how much we take ourselves apart, to have that connection to one another, that connection to ourselves, and that connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu ultimately. No matter how many times we take it apart, no matter how many times it falls apart or fails, or it's stuck in the garage with cobwebs surrounding it, we're still called the sukkah, we're still called Amcha Yisroel. It is the hidden message of resilience buried in all of our sukkahs.
Whoa, whoa.